Welcome to Use Your Voice to Shake the Future. This video series is from WA-SEN, Washington Student Engagement Networks. There are 4 videos in this series. Get ready to use your voice, submit written testimony, testify in a committee hearing, and take action on the legislative website. We're going to start with why testimony matters and how to begin. The WA-SEN webpage has downloads and links to help you take the next step. You make decisions every day. Think about a recent decision you made: where to go to school, or which classes to take, whether or not to buy a car or take a second job. How did you make these decisions? How do you make decisions in general? Most likely you take information you find and stories you hear, and you shape an opinion. You talk to people. The people closest to you have extra influence because you hear from them more often. Relationships really matter when we're making decisions. It works the same for legislators. Our state legislators have to figure out solutions to challenges in our state. How do they know how to decide? How do they know what to support? Like you, they use information they find or are given, and they listen to the people around them. The people they know well have a bit more influence because legislators hear from them more often. These relationships matter as they look for solutions to the challenges in front of them, some of the same challenges that you care deeply about. You and legislators together would be a powerful thing, don't you think? WA-SEN thinks so. By bringing you and legislators together, WA-SEN ensures that a student-centered perspective is central to higher education decision-making in Washington state. And the skills you learn through WA-SEN can be applied to any issue you care about. Your perspectives and experiences can influence decisions that impact your education, your community, the state of Washington, and more. That's why it matters that you get involved in advocacy. WA-SEN's focus is to help you share your story with legislators. Those stories can help them make decisions, even before legislation reaches the floor. In this series, we are going to introduce 4 ways to make your voice heard in and around committee meetings. In the Washington State Legislature, the term signing in is used to describe ways that someone can register an opinion on a piece of legislation, also known as a bill. When you sign in at the committee level, you help legislators make an informed decision. Your position and comments become part of the official legislative record. Here are the 4 ways to do this. 1. Register your position on a bill, either pro or con. 2. Submit written testimony. 3. Testify remotely to a committee hearing. And 4. Testify in person to a committee hearing. Registering your position on a bill is the quickest and easiest way to make your voice heard. You go to the legislative website and fill out a brief form. Your position is now part of the public record. Anyone who looks up a bill can see who registered a position on it. Submitting written testimony takes a little bit more time, but once you learn how, it's also fairly easy. We'll explain that in our 2nd video, Submit Written Testimony. In our 3rd video, Testify in a Committee Hearing, we'll explain how to prepare to testify to a committee, either remotely or in person. For each of these items, you'll need to be able to research a bill on the legislative website so you know which committee is hearing it and when. We'll walk through that in our 4th video, Take Action on the Legislative Website. The timing of these actions depends on when the committee hearing is scheduled. Most hearings are conducted between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays during session, and they're usually 2 hours long. To register your position, you have to go to the website between the time the hearing is announced and 1 hour before it begins. To submit written testimony, you have between the time the hearing is announced and 24 hours after it begins. Verbal testimony, whether in person or remote, happens during the hearing, but you have to register to testify at least 1 hour before the hearing. Now you know that your voice matters to help legislators make decisions at the committee level, and that there are 4 ways to share your input about legislation that impacts you. Choose your method based on how much time you have, your ability to travel to Olympia, and your comfort speaking in front of a group. If you're nervous, you'll especially appreciate the tips in our 3rd video, Testify in a Committee Hearing. Be sure to visit wasen.org to download handouts and explore links. The next video in this series is Submit Written Testimony.